We're live. What the hell are you guys talking about?
You guys know the rap.
How come they always start off?
Are you gonna do the intro or?
I just did the intro.
Oh, okay.
You people. Anyway, welcome to episode 7 of the Bikes and Beers podcast. It's a little too early, so we don't have any beers today.
You
You speak for yourself. Dude.
I guess
Cheers, boys.
It's already noon here. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, people didn't tune in to see you guys be idiots. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. Joining us today, we got Juan, HD96 bagger or something. I don't even know what his
That's what it is
anymore. We got Mr. Peruvian guy, aka Proper Sausage.
Nothing to say about that.
And not as always. Actually, on time for once, we have Terang joining us, T Patel 1000 on Instagram. And I asked you all here today because I want to talk about something very near and dear to my heart. I want to ask you guys, what the fuck is wrong with Harley Davidson?
How long is the podcast?
Yeah, exactly. So where I'm coming from with that, let me get to see if we have any comments. Okay. Where I'm getting at with that, Diego and I had the opportunity to test ride the BMW R18 last week. We test rode it. I've also seen a lot of content on the b&tch Dark Horse. It looks like a fantastic cruiser. I have an appointment to test drive it in a couple of weeks.
That's cool.
How long?
We can set that up.
Okay.
We'll see. And when you ride these bikes, they feel like new bikes. They feel like they've been innovated. They feel like 2021 motorcycles. They feel like they've done something different. Like BMW and Indian are actually out there trying to make a bike. Harley Davidson, to me, is stagnant. They haven't, honestly, since the 2018 Fat Bob that they came out with Change the Body. What has Harley done in the past 4 years? Name me something new.
The Pan America.
We'll talk about the Pan America and the Livewire here.
But yeah, on the cruiser line.
On the cruiser line.
No.
They just came out with their Hardwire plan. And essentially what they said is, we're going to focus on touring bikes, cruisers, and trikes. So it seems like they're doubled down on this aging demographic. And they're doing nothing to get a new demographic, a younger rider in.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? What the hell are they doing over there?
Well, tracks for sure is an older.
It's a loser.
Older target right there.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to milk everything they can out of the baby boomer generation.
Before they die.
I think they're going to sell off before they sell the company. I don't know.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want to sell the company with the newer, millennials, which have the biggest acquisition power
Not necessarily.
right now?
You want to sell it with good bottom line numbers. You want to sell it with
But they don't have. They're not going to have good bottom line.
Well, they actually beat earnings in the first quarter. They beat earnings expectations, and their stock is up.
Oh, really?
So, from a financial point,
Is that
like I've been saying for the past 6 months, they're setting it up to sell it.
Yeah, but is that because of the baby boomers, or is it because of people are excited about the
I don't know.
Pan America? Because they've been doing test rides all over Europe.
It's not first off, the Pan America is not for sale yet, so they're not going to beat earnings on the Pan America.
Right.
There's a few demos out there, yeah, but they're not going to beat earnings on the Pan America just yet. And like I said, we'll talk Pan America and Livewire here in a second because I have my own opinions on that. But this doubling down on the old generation, they're not innovating. Like, nobody can name me something new. The most exciting thing Harley's done lately is the Lowrider S, but that's a remake of a Dyna.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is there? I mean, can they survive on new paint jobs and wheels? Because that's all they do.
That's something I felt with the BMW. I was like, yeah, this is what everybody's supposed to be doing.
It's new. It's different. It had things on the dash. You're like, okay, it's got ABS standard. It's got traction control. Maybe a Harley with traction control.
Reverse?
It had a reverse gear.
Yeah.
It had an
and it was an electric.
It had an electric motor. Technically, it's a hybrid motor. It had an electric motor that will reverse it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a 700-pound bike. It was big, but when you rode it, it felt nimble. It was as heavy as a Goldwing. It's a big freaking engine. And it had its drawbacks. It wasn't the perfect bike. I'm not going to go run out and buy one. but it just felt like an innovative cruiser, which is something I haven't felt from Harley in a long time.
I think if you're a new rider and you see both bikes and you test ride a $17,000 bike, the R18, and then you go on same price point on Harley, I don't think how could you even think about going towards Harley if you don't care that much about.
Yeah, if you have no brand loyalty and you look at a top of the line Harley, the BMW R18, or the Indian Chief Dark Horse, which is a great bike at a lower price, which is around $15K, I don't see how the Harley stands out.
And then
Wait. No, go ahead.
kind of what Vincenzo's saying right there.
Yeah, we have a comment from Vincenzo. He says, I kind of like that they're not changing their style. It's kind of like why people love the older and keep it. But I would agree with you on the style, but the style, keeping a style doesn't mean you can't innovate upon that style. It doesn't mean you can't add new features, new technologies to the bike. And here's the sad part is, when they do add something to it, let's say they start adding traction control to their bikes. They're going to make a huge deal out of adding traction control.
Yeah.
It's something Honda, Yamaha, and BMW have been doing for decades.
Yeah.
So I don't know what
That and they're going to charge more for it.
And they're going to charge more. Okay, so, any thoughts?
Well, I would say, like, even after they innovate, if so, each innovation they do, like you said, they're going to charge more for it. All other companies, even though they innovate, they keep the same price point, around the same price range.
So the biggest thing Harley does year to year is I don't even say they update, but they put the bigger engines on the next iteration of bike. This year they introduced the 114 cubic inch in the street model, the entry level Softails. Now next year I presume they're going to put 117s standard on the touring lines, and then eventually they'll move everything to 117, and they'll move the CDOs to 131, and they'll keep going up. But is that really?
That's not innovating.
That's not innovating. That's
like
rearranging the same thing.
Comparing a Street Glide, for example, my Street Glide from 2009, which is a 96, and now compare it to a newer one. What's the biggest difference? The engine.
And that's why Harley's stagnant. Harley is so big. Over 50% of registered bikes in the U.S. are still Harley Davidson. So Harley's still a powerful brand. There's no getting around that. But I think they've gotten so comfortable that they've gotten extremely stagnant when it comes to innovation.
I feel there's no research and development department anymore.
There really can't be. I mean, all they really do is they change a fender off the fender that we used on this one. Let's make some bikes and make Frankenstein bikes.
Yeah. Like you say, the research is let's put the 114 in this line and see what happens. Yeah. Oh, it's good. Okay, let's do it.
And so they have this Hardwire plan now, which is focusing on their core demo, which is trikes, cruisers, and touring, which again is the same thing they've been doing. And that's part of this Hardwire plan. Before that, they had the Rewire plan, which the new CEO came in, canned the Rewire plan, and instituted the Hardwire plan. The Rewire plan had a lot of new bikes. It had a redesign of the Sportster. It had the Bronx, which they killed. The only thing they kept from the Rewire is the Pan America and the Lava. Yeah. And we'll talk about those in a minute. But to drive this point home, I want to show you guys something. This is the latest issue of Cycle World. And then they list the top 20 bikes of 2020, the top 10 bikes of 2020. Okay? I'm going to read some off to you. I want to see you guys' face because this is utterly ridiculous. And Cycle World is not an anti-Harley publication at all. In fact, there's a great article in here about the history of Harley Davidson and how they changed motorcycles. That's fantastic. But anyway.
Do they do that like in categories or just
it's by
overall
category.
bikes?
It's by category.
Okay.
You said this is just U.S. though.
This is U.S. Not just American bikes, but in the U.S. market.
Yeah.
It's okay. So best middleweight street bike. You're not going to have a Harley there. That's the KTM Duke 890R. Fair.
Makes sense.
That's a naked bike. Okay. First, open class street bike. You could have the Sportster here. You could have it, any number of Harleys. The winner's the Triumph Speed 20. We move on to super bikes, a Ducati Super Glare B4. Best dual sport enduro. It's a Beta 500R SS. That's not okay. Best standard. Again, you could have a Harley here. The winner, the Triumph Scrambler 1200.
Well, what Harley is standard of the street?
Street line and some Sportsters can qualify for that category. It's a standard bike. The 883 could be there. Adventure bike again is a KTM. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do the Cruiser last.
Mhm.
And the Tour. I'm going to do this last. Okay, best motocross Kawasaki KX450. Best lightweight street bike is the Kawasaki C400. Okay. Best cruiser, the Indian Challenger, which is actually a touring bike.
Yeah.
It is Indian's version of the Roadline.
Yeah.
That is a touring bike.
Everybody.
So you're telling me there isn't one Harley Davidson cruiser that's better than Indian's touring bike? So that makes you think, okay, so maybe the Road Glide came in and snuck in best touring. Best touring bike, the Honda Goldwing automatic transmission.
Wow.
Wait, fucking Goldwing?
Gold, like I'm
It doesn't
sorry.
surprise me. That motorcycle is probably the most comfortable motorcycle in the world for touring.
Sure,
It's perfect for the.
Yeah,
for
It's
the-
comfortable, but it's gotta be a slap in the face to have a Japanese bike on an American magazine with an automatic transmission beat out every Harley Davidson who specializes in touring bikes.
That's what happens when you don't,
That's
someone
what happens
comes
when you
and
don't
does it
innovate.
for you.
And, you don't have to take my word for it.
Like driving a Goldwing is like driving like an old minivan.
Driving a Goldwing, yeah, it's like driving
It's like an RV.
driving an '87 Cadillac DeVille. Now,
Well, not anymore though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It used to be. Now it's a completely full
Different bike.
decal technological and comfortable bike to ride. For that purpose.
maybe I need to test ride it, but on the surface, on paper, that's a slap in the face, and I'd be pissed off if I was Harley Davidson,
Yeah.
and I would want to do something about it. But they don't seem to be.
I mean, it could have been a German cruiser if the BMW would have released the R18
There's a
before.
hell of an article here on the R18, and I guarantee you the R18 would have won Best Cruiser if it was a 2020.
Yeah.
Because these were 2020 bikes.
Yeah.
For 2021, we'll see. But I bet you Harley's not going to win Best Cruiser. It's going to be the R18.
With what technology? It doesn't have ABS, it doesn't have the.
It's innovative.
Yeah.
It's something new. It looks different. You look at that engine, the way it sits underneath that gas tank. Mind you, it makes the foot position uncomfortable, but it's
Yes.
a powerful engine.
I mean, just twisting the throttle will be like a beast, like trying to
And it
turn
comes with
the
things that you don't see in cruisers. It's an innovative cruiser. It's got a steering cabin,
drivetrain.
an exposed drive shaft,
Right shaft, yeah.
powertrain. It's got a steering dampener. When's the last time you saw that on a cruiser?
Yeah, that was crazy for me. That was surreal. But
It's
yeah.
insane. So what things could Harley start doing to change this image? Let's assume they're not selling the company and they actually want to keep building toward the long term.
I think keep their style, but add the technology, add the features that other bikes have. Like you can have a beautiful, typical speedometer, but make it all electronic, digital with a beautiful display and modes, riding modes, and
Okay.
those.
ABS.
ABS
So
standard.
charging for that extra make it standard, man.
Yeah.
If they want to
for
take it
your
off, they
users
take it
and
off.
your riders.
That's something. I feel that they need a full refresh of the sports car.
Oh, yeah.
I think they need to take that Rio engine that they just did for the Pan America, throw it in the Sportsters, and redesign like 5 or 6 of them. And come out with a whole new Sportster line.
Have great suspension, ABS,
And those are entry level bikes that'll get new people into motorcycling. That if you redesign those, that's what's going to bring in the new generation. You're not going to get the new generation in on the fat boy.
But another thing that Harley fails at is putting really young colors on their bikes. They keep the regular black, white, whatever.
But the street bob, the new street bob, but that's the thing. They come out with new colors and they brag about it so much.
Yeah.
They've been bragging on the orange street bob for months since it came out.
the color is not something to brag about. It's just another.
But like they need to do like those neon colors that like the younger generation like.
Sure, yeah.
The
Things are bright. And,
eye catching.
I'm not saying a rainbow bike, but
Like you know what I mean.
yeah, absolutely.
Like for example, like BMW with the M series, they have like this like blue, they have purple, they have green, all the different.
But, okay, to that point, and this happens a lot with the 48, the R1200, hell, even the Fat Boy. You go to their websites and it's the description, and it says retro 70s style, and it's been saying that for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we get it.
That's not retro anymore.
It's
That's
not-
just
yeah.
like
That's old.
Yeah,
Why are you trying to tell me 70s crap? You know?
Or-
but that's 50 years ago.
Or they could
For
do
now.
something like Triumph, for example. Triumph have bikes that they look very much like the new Mobiles. They look very much like the original ones, but it has all the bells and whistles, like ABS and digital speedometers and gas meters and all that for the entry-level bike.
Yeah.
Like the Sportsters should already have a fob. They should already tell you how many
Yeah.
you have left. They should already have ABS, and none of them do, I think.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
You
Why-
can get
why-
ABS, but
Why-
But that's also what Harley also wants people to do is like get the standard bike and then keep
Harley wants you to
want.
add things to the bikes. But see, that's it. That's
People don't-
also a losing model. A new generation, the millennials, the Gen Zs,
They buy everything ready made.
they
Yeah.
want to get their stuff and be done with it. Not only that, they are thriftier. They're not going to spend an extra $2,000 to get this or get that. I see a fully equipped Honda Shadow. To me, they look the same. Okay, that one's built out of steel, but I don't even notice because I'm not paying that much attention. That Honda Shadow is $6,000. This Iron 883 is like 12.
I always look for the best bang for my buck, and I think most millennials do. And Harley is not giving that.
No, it's not.
Harley, again, you just pay for the name.
You're
Yeah.
paying for the brand, absolutely. And it's sad because you're not just paying for the brand. You're paying for there's a certain lifestyle, and a
Right,
certain
community and all that.
Yeah.
That's good.
and you're paying for it. That's what I love about Harley. But the bikes need to start reflecting the new age of riders.
And that
Yeah.
Harley lifestyle is not
It's been
replaced.
bastardized to hell.
That and then millennials do not like.
That's the thing. Millennials
lifestyle.
aren't going to buy into the leather vest
No.
and the cuts
No.
and the NC culture. They're not. So yeah, Harley
Some,
needs to start changing
But
that
not
image.
all of them.
All right, so let's move topics here. Before I say what I'm going to say about the Harley Livewire, let me say I work in the electric vehicle industry. I'm a big proponent of electric vehicles. I think electric vehicles are the future.
100%.
The Harley Davidson Livewire is a loser, and it's not going anywhere.
I haven't even seen one on the road.
I have.
I know one person that's like,
I have, but yeah,
anybody gets think different.
that's too expensive.
I think they're better off making a sub company and the sub company selling the electric bike.
It's
So
like
it's not
like
tied
what-
to Harley.
like what you said, like they made this thing and it's new-ish because other companies were doing it, but they were doing it better at a more achievable price, and they made this whole thing about it. And then you go like, oh, that's great, that's an amazing bike. I would love to have it to ride around the city. How much is it? $30,000. And you tell that to a millennial, that's like,
Okay, look, first off the bat, and I think everybody knows this, and I don't think anybody's disagreed. It is not a $30,000 motorcycle.
no.
No.
Second, I think it's not necessarily just a Livewire. I think electric motorcycles are not going to take off.
You don't think?
They're not a thing. They're not going to be a thing.
I think they are.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like look what happened at F1.
They're gonna take a little longer.
I get the racing aspect. For racing, they got to be fantastic because they are fast as hell. And the super sport crowd may get into them. But I'm saying if electric motorcycles were going to be that big a thing, where's the electric offering from Ducati? Where's the one from Honda, Yamaha, KTM? Where is it? Where are they?
Wait, the thing is, at some point, they are gonna realize the same thing as cars are gonna realize that it's cheaper to build, cheaper to maintain, and gives a lot more profit for the company.
It is not cheaper to build an electric car. If
Yeah.
That's where you're going. No, it's not. Not yet.
Cars are.
Not yet.
No.
No, they're not.
They're
They're
not.
more expensive. No, they're not.
It's hard to find.
They only have 2,000 moving pieces, first of all.
You're right, but the battery packs are extremely expensive. They're running at about $200
Right.
per kilowatt.
But that's gonna be for a very little time.
I don't disagree that prices are coming down, but today it's still more expensive to build an electric vehicle than
Really? I thought it was the opposite.
No, not yet. It will happen.
Okay.
Not
Because I think in the next 5 years, there's
Yeah.
not many cars that are gonna be coming out of the line that are gonna be.
Oh, in 5 years, as far as cars are concerned, in 5 years we'll reach parity with internal combustion.
You've seen the new Tesla battery, right?
I've seen.
Like that.
No, and you have entire brands. You have Cadillac and Jaguar. They're going to be all electric by 2025.
Yeah.
The argument for electric cars are the future. They're not going anywhere. That's happening. But our electric motorcycles. Let's see. Janzo says, no shot. I wouldn't buy an electric bike. It defeats the entire sex appeal of riding a bike. It does. Especially the Harley style.
Harley style, yes, of course. Yeah.
Riders, we want the vibration. We want the exhaust.
The
we want
smell.
the
The smell.
Yeah. We want a wrench on our bikes. I don't think electric bikes are going anywhere. I really don't. Change my mind.
I think they will. Not for a lot of people, and I think combustion engine bikes are gonna stay a lot longer than cars.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, of course, yeah, the feel of riding a Harley and the exhaust and the vibration, that's amazing. But I've also ridden an electric motorcycle. I've ridden the Livewire, and I really, really liked it.
As a rider, it's a fantastic ride.
Yes.
But okay.
It doesn't give me sleep.
I don't disagree that electric bikes are gonna have a place in the market. Maybe I think it tops 20%. You think they'll get above 50? You think they'll take over as
At some point, yes, I
I
do.
really think so.
Yeah.
Well, if it depends on the performance of it as well.
Sure.
The performance
And
is
that's why I say
and-
super sports guys might get it.
Well,
Because they're all
the
about
performance is
track
gonna
performance.
be. It's already.
Yeah, the performance will be better.
It's already better.
Okay, but then performance and duration of it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The
That you don't have the
range
range.
is gonna have a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
You don't have the
That's-
range. It's a
that's
smaller
what I-
battery, so it's gonna take longer just because you need to give the same range in a smaller,
Well, I think electric
Set.
bikes are reaching parity in range just with internal combustion engine bikes. They get about, the Livewire gets about 150 miles. The Damon gets 200 miles. That's a lot more than a lot of bikes out there.
But right
Yeah.
now it's a commuting bike. Right?
Yeah, it's a
Right now,
commute bike for inside the cities. It's got the same function as a scooter.
Yeah.
True.
And what? $5,000 scooter, $30,000
$30,000 Livewire.
bike. And scooter has compartments where you can put shit inside.
The Livewire has a tiny one, but either way, it's useless. All right, so
How's that? Do you have any knowledge about how the infrastructure has been going?
the
For
charging
example,
infrastructure.
can we drive a Livewire up to Orlando?
You can, yes. So the charging infrastructure in Florida is growing rather quickly. The governor just approved some DC fast charging. Most of the major highway corridors in the country are getting electrified. Texas is heavily electrified. California, the whole West Coast, really. New York and the East Coast is coming along. So the infrastructure is going along with electric cars. I think in about 5 years it'll be well.
Now, one
Vincenzo.
thing is being able to charge your bike from Miami to Orlando. Now tell me you're gonna make that trip on a Livewire.
The point is, and this is where electric vehicle charging needs to catch up. The point is, let's say you have to fuel up halfway from Miami to Orlando on your bike. On our bikes, 5 minutes, you gas up, you're back on the road. On an electric bike, and the fastest, half an hour.
There you go.
And that's to charge 80%. That's what it would be.
There you go.
If you don't have a DC fast charger, you're talking 2, 3, maybe 4
Yeah.
hours.
I wonder, does Port St. Lucie have charging stations?
I'm sure they do. Why?
Do they?
I'm sure they do. Yeah, why?
I was wondering. So usually that's the halfway point where everyone stops before they go to Orlando.
Yeah, it's a very.
Yeah, I'm
so-
thinking of the turnpike rest stops. I think most of the turnpike rest stops have them. I don't know if they're DC fast chargers. That's
But they'll get there soon enough. Quite soon.
yeah, that'll come. I'm saying, I don't see the Livewire going. Now, if Harley was gonna come out and do an entire line, like the Sportster line, and do an entire line of electric motorcycles, and the Livewire was to say proof of concept, that I would understand.
Yeah.
But to have a one-off bike, and now they're launching these bicycles.
I was just going to say that, and
Okay.
now you see what they did.
It's either the $30,000 or it's the bicycle. You
How
have
much is
nothing
that?
in the middle.
I don't
So
understand.
they
Yeah,
really focus on getting a maybe sport bike.
Get it on.
Sport bike.
For what?
Harley. Sport bike.
A sport bike? Like the Bronx was going to be, and they killed it? Yeah, we can talk about that later. Actually, I've talked about that at Miles and Miles channel.
Yeah.
I hated this one.
All right, because that's a huge market that they'll hit if they make
Yeah.
it done, if it's done right.
Now, here's where I think they could have ran
that's
into
the key
trouble.
there.
And it might be the same place that they're gonna run it through. Excuse me, sir.
I'm looking at the prices.
Oh.
But no, I didn't find them. Do
He's
you know?
doing research for the show.
Por favor, of course.
Okay, the Pan America. I think sales numbers are going to be horrible for the Pan America.
Really?
I do. They are taking the Pan America to two people: Harley people who don't necessarily ride adventure bikes. A regular Harley is not going to come on off the street and buy a Pan America. He's just not.
I don't think they're marketing it to that.
And they're also marketing to the adventure crowd.
Right.
The adventure motorcycle crowd has a long history with KTM, with Yamaha, with Honda, with even Ducati, with the Multistrada. That's a fantastic motorcycle.
Yeah.
And Harley thinks they're just going to come in and take market share with a bike that's at the higher end price point of those other bikes. You can get a KTM. Where is it? The Harley Pan America is but it's more expensive than, where is it? Than the KTM 790 Adventure R.
Yeah, it's a much bigger engine. Though. It's kind of like
yeah, sure, it's got a bigger engine, but for adventure purposes,
BMW.
that's not necessarily,
Yeah,
A good thing. You
that's
need
not necessary.
agility.
right.
Yeah. It's a heavy bike.
I saw a few videos where the people like that were test riding it, they were adventure bikers, and a bunch of them said that, you know, for being a new bike, and especially from Harley, they would advise people that are thinking about buying adventure bikes to test ride it first because they might like it quite a bit. And they said they did a great job. It wasn't there with BMW and the other brands, but they said it was really good.
Okay, but
I wouldn't know about
if it's really good and it's not up to par with the BMW,
Right, they shouldn't be at the same price.
But the price point is right up there.
Yep, no,
Then what's the point?
they should have rated out.
And again, is
Cheaper
that a winning strategy? Is a one-off bike for a completely different segment a winning strategy?
They should have started with the Bronx, which is a smaller,
The Bronx has a
more
lot.
popular
The
version.
Bronx would have had a much higher translation rate
I think so.
to the regular Harley ride. I would have at least test rode the Bronx.
Yeah.
The Pan America I have no use for.
No.
You look very pensive over there. Like you're thinking of. You're either really bored or you're about to blow our brains.
No, I'm just.
We're not talking about butters yet.
Bedtime.
So say something.
So the price for the bikes, the electric bikes, as in bicycles, not motorcycles. Serial one will sell 4 bikes, ranging in price from $3,399 to $4,099
For a bicycle,
for an electric bicycle.
look up the BMWs that we saw. The BMW had some electric bicycles.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
cheapest one, $3,400 for a bicycle.
Get out of here.
Like, guys.
No, come on.
That's like,
Harley, what are you
and
doing?
R6 cost you that, right? I think.
Dude, I can get a used R6 for that.
You can definitely get a
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like a 3-year-old.
yeah, R6, absolutely.
Bro, you can find
You can
a
get
cheap
a-
car with
You
that
can get a
money.
new ROM for that, brand new, and have $1,000 left over to customize it.
Yeah.
And a ROM would be a lot more fun than that thing.
But they change the paint colors on the motorcycles.
Oh, well, now.
For 2021.
Now that's right. The paint color makes all the difference.
Yeah. Like totally.
So obviously, most of our viewers aren't watching this live, but please comment down below. What do you guys think? What is Harley doing wrong, and how can they fix it? Go ahead and subscribe to the channel,
BMW.
and like the video, do all those things.
Yeah.
But Diego's about to blow our minds.
So, I think they're around $1,500, $1,600.
Half the price, and they're getting the same product from BMW.
And BMW is not a, what brand is that?
BMW is a BMW. BMW's been doing this a lot longer than Harley, also.
They'll look a lot nicer too.
And I would dare say people are not gonna go crazy about owning a Harley Davidson bicycle.
I mean, that's not BMW, but I mean,
Yeah, I own a Harley Davidson.
bicycle.
Oh, what's it called? You go.
Because no, you
So yeah, it's a bicycle,
you
not a
spend
bike.
the extra money for a Harley motorcycle, but for an electric bicycle,
And let me ask you this, because I just remembered something they did for 2020. What the hell is going on with their marketing? Like, okay, why is Jason Momoa in everything?
2021.
Well, Jason Momoa's been
Aquaman, Justice League.
Yeah, but why
I don't
is he in everything Harley? Is he that big a star that Harley people are loving him? Think about what they did.
I mean, he's a Harley
in
diehard.
2020, they had an opportunity to do something awesome. What they did, I don't know if you guys saw this, when they released their 2020s, they took 10 bikes and they sent them off to celebrities. For celebrities to unpack them and, do whatever. You're sending these bikes for free out to millionaires. They sent one out to Jason Momoa. The first thing he did, he took a Sharpie because he didn't like the color. He started sharpieing the fender. They sent one, I think, out to like Ludacris. He didn't even know what the hell that was. They could have taken those bikes and sent them to like real people, Harley riders, who would have been excited about the bikes, would have actually reviewed the bikes.
Or not even, like millennials that were thinking about getting into bikes but didn't know where to go.
Maybe select 10 people who just took your motorcycle riding class.
Mm-hmm.
And send them a brand new
Right.
bike.
What do you think about this?
Yeah, we're going to send you a brand new bike. We're going to send a film crew out there. We just want to gauge your reaction.
Yeah.
That
would have been cool.
That would have been awesome. But they send them to millionaires, and who wants to watch Ludacris on a motorcycle?
I mean, I understand the concept of having, a public figure influencing the market, but
that's the market.
But you're still marketing to the baby boomers. If you want to do that, you give it to a TikToker, right? Or to an Instagrammer,
to a YouTuber. You get to influence,
right?
Like I feel like the people that do the marketing.
And I love it.
Or to me, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you can feel.
I'm just saying, go ahead, I love you, but you don't need a free Harley. Yeah.
What's your favorite bikers, bro?
Or your favorite bikers, bro?
Yeah, it's really sad because Harley could have innovated a lot and could have been.
Yeah, Harley. Look, I still think they're getting ready to sell the company. If they are, they're doing the right thing because all they're doing is raising profits in the short term, and that's in the short term. They're going to raise their stock. They're going to sell it at a higher price point. If they're not going to sell it, they're going absolutely in the wrong direction. They're doubling down on an aging generation. They're ignoring the younger generation who are going to be your riders in 10 to 15 years. That's the people you're going to have to rely on. And you're completely ignoring them while the other companies, the BMWs, the Triumphs, the Indians, the Yamahas, the Hondas, they're going after them hard, and right now they're winning.
Yeah.
I said earlier, 52% of motorcycles in the U.S. are Harley Davidsons. I guarantee you, if you take that number and look at just people under 40, Harley Davidson is probably sitting at 20%.
Yeah.
If that.
Right. I was gonna say.
When I had my Harley, I was the youngest rider of Harley at any meetup.
I feel like that
Every
all the
single
time.
time.
I mean, I know a
About
few
20
young
years.
Harley riders, but I know a few young Harley riders. I know a couple of 19, 20-year-olds who ride Harleys, but
Yeah. But very few. They're not the norm.
No, it's not the norm.
Yeah, when you go to Thursday night bike nights, you notice
Yeah,
us maybe 10 young people, all of us closer to 40 now, so
Yeah.
younger, and you see it's all real grown ups.
Speak for yourself.
Closer to 30 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I'm
are.
very far away from
I'm
40.
like, dude, I'm like 700, 800 days from 40, right? I'm far.
I'll be one day closer to 30 tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, final thoughts, guys. Go ahead.
Step up, Harley.
Step up.
Step up, or you're gonna have to step out.
Please.
And you can even wonder what happened. It's pretty obvious for everybody.
Get your shit together or get buried up with it.
Innovate and colors.
Colors. What?
Trust me, you'd be surprised at what they do.
Well, that's all they do. Is colors.
Yeah, that's-
Well, you're saying bright.
No, but more
Younger.
younger colors.
Younger colors, younger designs.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I would say
More chrome.
less chrome.
Black chrome.
Less chrome.
Black chrome.
No, just less chrome. If you're getting ready to sell, as I suspect you are, fine. But if you're not, step out of this funk. Start innovating.
For the price of bikes.
Lower your prices and stop taking your audience for granted. Stop doubling down on the aging generation. There's already enough bikes for those people. Give the younger generation some bikes. Give this poor guy a bike.
Yes,
He's borrowing my Honda. Please give him a bike.
please.
It's funny. His girlfriend's off camera. She's going, "Yeah, get him a bike." Get him a bike.
Make sure I have the back
Guys,
too.
thank you very much, everybody. Please hit the subscribe button, like the video, share this video. Thank you all for watching. That's it. Ride safe. Thank you all.
You guys take care.
Have a good one.